Hello, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to you all from Reasontogethertv. If this is your first time of coming across my page and my channel, please enable to hit the red subscribe button down below and also press the notification button so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be the first person to be notified. This case that I'm about to show you is a case of family dispute. Please stay tuned while they interview the complainant and also the defendant for peaceful resolution. Until I come your way next time, remain blessed and bye for now. Ciao.
When did you get married?
We got married 2012, August 28th.
What kind of marriage did you conduct?
We did traditional marriage, court marriage, and normal church wedding.
Do you have children of the marriage? How many are they?
3, Your Honor.
So, what led to your separation?
I was too traumatized and
You were?
I was too emotional stressed when we were together.
Do you work?
Right now, yes, but I'll resume work next month.
As what?
Office assistant.
Okay. While you were with him, when the two of you were living together, were you working at that time?
No, I was not allowed the privilege to work.
By who?
By his mom and his mom.
By who?
His mom.
So, tell me what led to your separation. I'm curious.
We had a fight. He tried to hit me with a small mortar, the one they use in pound, you want to make something. I got scared because the first time he hit me, I had to go to the hospital to treat myself, and I was pregnant. So when we had the fight, luckily the mom was there and his younger brother was in the house also. So there was no way we could hurt each other, but I was very, very scared, so I had to leave. I had to leave the next day. He wasn't even at home when I left.
Was that the first time you'd be?
No, ma, this is the third time we got separated.
That's the third time?
Yes,
What
Your
happened the
Honor.
first time?
The first time we got separated was when we had to travel to Accra because of what we were having issues. Because he was making me feel somehow. At first, he was staying out late. I kept on complaining. We settled the issue. Then later on, I noticed he was cheating on me. He denied it, but I kept quiet about it. Then I opened up and I said, okay, if things are going on like this, why don't we start afresh, like go somewhere and start afresh?
How long was your courtship before you got married?
We dated for 6 months.
Okay, go ahead.
So when he was working in the club, he started staying out late and all that. I was feeling bad because that was the nature of the job he was doing before I met him. He used to have a club, his own personal club, but before I met him, the club was shut down. He told me everything that happened, that he was going through a lot and the business was bad. He had to close it down because he was not getting profit anymore. Because he wasn't getting profit anymore, that was the reason why he closed the club. And I asked him what he wanted to do. He said he had sold the things he had in the club. Then when he gathered the money, he would use it to start up a new business. That was what he told me, and I said okay. But when he went back to the same thing again, I was very upset because this same thing he was doing before, I knew how he was before I married him. He wasn't, I don't know, he was this person that he likes spending money. He can spend up to 200,000, 50,000 just to drink in the club. At times he doesn't pay immediately. So when
you knew that before you got married?
Yes, Your Honor, I knew. And when he went back to the same job, I was upset. I was like, no, I can't allow you to do this job. I said, no, you should stop. Because first, if you come back home, if he doesn't sleep in the car, at times I will not see him. He will come, he will not let me know he's around, he will sleep in the car. At times I will find lipsticks, female lipsticks in the car. At times he will come, he will buy new things, he will hide it in the car for me not to see. So I was wondering what was going on. And if I call him, whenever he's not home, if I call him to know where he is, he would lie to me. If I call the mom, he would tell me he's with the mom. If I call the mom would
tell me. You were not working at this period?
No, I wasn't working, Your Honor. He would tell me he's with the mom. The mom will have to hide and cover up for him. At times, 2 days, 3 days, I won't see him. So I was upset. I was like, okay, I decided to sit him down and talk to him. I was like, okay, talk to me. What is going on? He opened up to me. He said the reason why he said he's having difficulties to do some kind of work because of the kind of person he used to be before. That he's not comfortable in Lagos to do some kind of work. That it's not as if he cannot do any kind of job. I was like, okay, should we go to Accra? I've always wanted to go to Accra. It's a nice place. Let's go there and start afresh. We can start afresh. He said, okay. But then we don't have enough. So we were making plans. We sold some things we had that we couldn't travel with. The car his mom gave to me as a gift during the wedding, I volunteered to sell it. We both sold the car, we gathered the money, and we got to Accra. Getting to Accra, we didn't even tell anybody. We promised each other that we won't tell anyone where we were going to and the reason. We would just tell them that we are not around. Getting to Accra, it was about 2-3 days before we settled down. Then we decided we had to, so that our parents doesn't get worried. We had to start calling them that this is where we are. Then later I spoke to his mom, and his mom was like, she would like to come and know how Accra is. I was like, if you come, the place is nice, she will love it. That was what I told her. She said, okay, that she would like to come and see the environment of where we stay. Then she came. For her to get to the place, when she came to the house, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, she got upset. After giving her the food she was supposed to eat that night, they both went out. I don't know where they went to. And she was like, she's not going to eat the food. I was like, why? What did I do wrong? And I went to him. Then he went to the mom and was like, Mom, why don't you want to eat this food? Please. Then the mom was like, do you know what is in my stomach? I think she said something like that will make you to stomach. He said something to her. She said, do you know what is in my stomach? So I was like, what is really going on? She didn't say anything. So I was wondering maybe the food I cooked was bad that she doesn't want to eat. But later on, I found out that she was angry because of the way I gave her the food. She said she didn't like how I served her the food. But that house, there was no table, there was no chair.
When you found out, what did you do?
When I found out how she was, then I told my parents, yes. I told my parents.
When you found out, you didn't apologize to her?
I wanted to apologize to her because I was really feeling, I wasn't even feeling too well that day. I was pregnant, I was very sick. He knew. I told him I wasn't feeling too well. The way she went to my neighbor downstairs to go and start telling them things about house was what got me upset about the whole thing. There was a neighbor that stays downstairs where we live. She went to meet them to start talking. She has never met them before. I didn't introduce them to her. I don't know how come. She went downstairs with him and they were discussing about what happened.
How did you know?
Her voice was very
So you heard everything they were saying?
No, I heard her voice. I thought they've gone out. I heard her voice. I rushed downstairs to know where she was shouting from. Only to find out she was in the room in my neighbor's room. If I had not heard, I wouldn't have come.
You don't understand me. She's there discussing. But my question is, what their discussion, were they discussing you?
Yes.
They were discussing you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
I ran
and things you heard were uncomplimentary remarks about you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when she entered, when you heard, what did you do?
I went to knock. I wanted to enter.
Why will you enter? Why will you enter? You heard her. You come and meet your husband. Do you know mommy is downstairs with her neighbor and this is what I overheard them say?
So he was there with her.
He was there with them. So when they come back here, you tell him. You tell him you don't have business with her. You talk to him. You were with mommy. These are the things she said. I'm not happy about it. But I want to be at peace with her. Whichever way. How do I go about it? He knows his mom better than you. He will tell you what to do. Before she leaves, you round it up and everything will be over. You are going to be a mother-in-law too one day. You have 2 sons. Do you understand me? So, just for you to know how to manage situation. Because there are certain things you can't just walk into your neighbor's house and start comforting her out. You are not in your house. It's like you are washing your dirty linen in public.
After that night, she didn't sleep in the house. She had to go sleep in an hotel because of what was going on. I tried talking to her, she wouldn't listen to me. I'm like, wow. The next day, when she came in the morning. No, he came in the morning. So I was trying to ask him, where is his mom and all that. Then he told me he's going back, that his mom has gone back. I was like, she has gone back just like that. He said yes. Then after, I think the next day, he opened up to me that he's also going back to Nigeria. I was like, yes. And I was like, why do you want to go back to Nigeria? He said because the mom told him that he should come back. That if he doesn't come back, he's going to be the son. I was like, why? He said the mom told him that he should leave, that they told him to leave me. So after I tried pleading with him to change his mind, he said no, that if he's...
The two of you were coming back to Nigeria?
No. He said he said we should go together. I said I'm not going, that we had a plan.
You said you're not coming back to Nigeria?
Yeah, I told him that there's no need for us to go back to Nigeria, that we had a plan.
Okay.
He told me that the plan will not work, because if his mom and his dad refuse to help him, how is he going to take care of me and the children? I was like, what does he mean? He said he cannot do without his mom. That is his mom that gives him money for feeding and everything. That how are we going to cope? And I was like, we can do anything. I am ready to work, do any job. We will survive, we'll do anything. He said no, that he can't survive like that he has to go back to his parents, that if not, they will disown him. And that was why he left, and I was still there in Accra.
You stayed back?
I stayed back to see if he would change his mind, because we had a lot of plans, and I was not really ready to give up. Because when we went...
plan? Whatever plan you had was an agreement between you and your husband. At the time you told him, it was your own suggestion, remember, that he should go to Accra. If he had refused to move to Accra with you, would you have left him behind in Nigeria and go ahead alone?
No, yeah.
You will not.
No.
Same thing applies. When he picked his bag and he said, let's go back home, you follow your husband.
He actually said he was no longer interested in the marriage, that he's going back to Nigeria.
Okay, you didn't
tell me that. That was what he told me.
Okay.
He said he was no longer. That was I was begging him. I had to kneel down to beg him not to end the marriage and everything. He refused and he went back to Nigeria. I called my parents. They asked me to be patient, to wait, not to come immediately, because they wanted to be sure to know if really he has made up his mind, or maybe he's just angry and later the anger will, I don't know. So I had to hold on, and I waited for some time. I kept calling him, he didn't come back. So I had no...
They were speaking your call?
I was speaking my call, but only for me to find out that there was... Only for me to find out the reason why he really wanted to go back to Nigeria was because of a particular girl.
He wrote it in his statement that he has moved on.
That he has what?
He has moved on. It's written here. He said he has another woman in his life.
Oh.
He wrote it here. Yeah. He claimed before the court. How long were you in Ghana after he left?
I'm not sure I stayed up to a month. I didn't stay up to a month.
I wish you had left with him when he said, let's all come back. Sheil, when you were coming back to Nigeria, did you make an offer for all of you to come back to Nigeria?
I was the one that paid for the transportation too.
Even after, the 1 month after, you paid for the transportation to bring all of them back to Nigeria?
Even though collect hotel because we don't have...
Excuse me, Your Honor, he did not pay for anything.
Okay.
Please don't lie.
Okay.
Seriously?
Sheil, wait.
I was the one
that hold on. Go ahead.
When I was in, after he...
When you were to come back, how did you get the money?
I had the landlord. Okay. I had to ask him to give me the remaining rentage of the house so that I can get some money to go back.
Okay.
So that was how I got some money.
Sorry.
We paid for...
Who paid for the house?
You wait. Don't interrupt me again, Sheil.
Order.
Sheil. Did he divorce you at that time?
No. He only told me we need to divorce first.
Yeah, so he has not commenced the divorce proceeding. He has not abandoned you either. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
When I got to Nigeria,
So you went to the hotel? How long were you in the hotel?
I think 5 days or so.
So after you left the hotel, where did you move to?
I called him to tell him I was in Nigeria.
Okay.
At first he switched off his phone.
Okay.
I couldn't reach him for 2 days. So I had to call my parents. They came to me in the hotel. They had to bring me food and some other things that I needed at that time.
They didn't take you away from the hotel?
No, they couldn't.
Okay.
We don't even know where they are.
Where his parents live?
My dad tried to know where they are. They couldn't. They didn't dispose there. Even up till now, my parents don't know any of his family's members.
When you got married, where were they staying?
His mom was staying in Akure. That was the first time.
The two of you never visited the mom before you got married to him?
Yes, we did in Ajawo Estate, but he told me the house belongs to his younger brother.
Yes, so at least he has.
And they were no longer there.
So when you came back, did you reach out to his siblings that you were trying to reach?
I couldn't reach anybody.
You could have gone to Ajawo Estate.
They were no longer in Ajawo Estate.
Even the brother they were
no longer there. After the marriage, everybody left Ajawo Estate.
And so you don't know where any of his siblings lives, and you are married to him.
If they disconnected me from...
You have no friend in the family?
They disconnected from me. I don't know what happened. Even me, I was shocked.
No matter how bad it is, you still have one person, at least
his
one...
younger sister, we were always communicating until one day his mom warned her that she should stop communicating with me.
How did you know the mother warned her? She told you that? Did she tell you that?
She told me herself. She said they asked her to stop picking my calls because they don't want her to be getting involved in our family issue. And she told me that my husband came to warn her. That why is she telling me things?
Okay.
That was also, ever since then, I couldn't reach her. I think she changed her number.
All right. Okay.
That was what happened.
So, what do you really want from this court?
I'm filing for a divorce. And I want custody of the children. The reason why
The children are with you, are they not with you?
No, they are with him.
How come?
Because when the children were with me, he was not sending money for their upkeep. I couldn't pay their school fees and nothing. I keep calling him. He would tell me he will send money today. I will not hear from him again. My sister also tried. They called him to nothing. So I was too emotionally depressed. I didn't know what else to do. So I spoke to my auntie. I went for counseling. I went to church for counseling and all that. They asked me if I really wanted to be with him. And I told them, this is the reason why I can't be with him. Whenever I even try, he disappoints me. When we talk about something, he go tell the mom. And the mom will call me and start using it to fight me. So I just could not. Then I tried to see if I can use the children to win him over. Because I know that when a man is there with kids, they have this feeling for their children and want to be with their wife again. I tried to see if I could do that. That was the only reason I took those kids to him. And even when we were separated, I was always calling him that I miss him and I still want us to be back. That I still love him, all those things. I was doing those things because I felt I was too young to start my marriage. And I was always going to church, praying, counseling, just so that I can work things out in my marriage.
You know how the children ended up here with him?
I took those children to him.
Because you dropped them off?
No, I took those children to go and stay with him.
Yes, you dropped them off?
No, I did not drop them off.
What did you do? When you took them there, what did you tell him?
We didn't really discuss much because I was so upset. I didn't want to look at his face. So we don't talk.
So when you got there, tell me, I want you to describe to me what happened that day.
When we got there,
you and who?
Me, and I took a cab to the house. He had to describe the place to the driver.
You got the house eventually?
Got to the house, and we got down. The kids got down from the car and I had to kiss them, and I was like, I'll call you, I'll come and see you. And I told the children, I'll come and see you, I'll come and visit. Don't worry, I'll be back. And I told him that, okay, I gave him something. I gave him something to keep for the kids. I bought it from the church.
What's that?
What do they call it? This frame, the one you fix on the wall.
What about their clothes?
Yeah, I took some few clothes and some little things that they needed.
You dropped them?
I dropped them, yeah.
So apparently you had no intention of coming back for them that day?
No.
Okay. So when did you tell him that you'll be coming back for the children?
I didn't tell him.
You didn't tell him at all that you're coming back for the children?
I told him
So you dropped the children off? Really? That's just it? You had the custody of the children and you felt you could not cope and you dropped them off with them. That's all you have said so far. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So after you dropped them off, did you go back to check on the children?
No, I didn't.
Why?
I was not really ready to go back then because of my job. But when I was ready to go back to see them, he wouldn't allow me to know where they are. He kept saying that we'll have to meet up somewhere. And I was like, okay, let me try.
Because he had another woman in the house. So he didn't want you to come into the house. That's the reality.
I didn't know.
So he wanted you to meet outside.
Okay.
And since that time, the children have been with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what do you want now? You want custody of the children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or access to the children?
I want custody.
You want full custody of the children? Okay. Now, Shil, I'd love to listen to you.
At first,
You know one thing I'm interested in?
yes, ma'am.
I need to know what made you to fall apart with her.
Although she moved out of the house.
Which year?
Was around 2013.
How long have you been married then?
Well, just 2 years.
Is that correct?
Ma.
The first time you moved out was after 2 years of marriage.
Was it up to 2 years?
It was not up to 2 years
No, it wasn't.
that you first moved out.
Yes.
Why did she move out then, Shil?
She said at first she was first complaining about spiritual husband. Yes, she told me that she has a spiritual husband. Something I try to stand with her that even though church we go or all those things, to just make sure you are okay. And second, and then she complained that she want to be a reverend sister after 2 kids. I say, how come?
How many children do you have at that time?
Oh,
At the time she said she wanted to be reverend sister.
2.
2.
Yes.
Is that true? Did you ever tell him you would love to become a reverend sister?
Yes, I
Remove the mask.
Yes, I did.
You did, you
Yes.
told him. When was that?
That was
How many years into the marriage was that? Because I already had 2 kids, you said.
that was before. I think that was before I got pregnant of the last.
Last one.
I was always saying it as a joke, but later on, but I never told him I had a spiritual husband. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The reason
You
why.
just told him you would love to be a reverend sister.
Yes.
Or as a joke.
Yes, I was always joking about
About
it.
that.
And because I used to go to church, I buy these books. I buy books a lot. All these Lives of a Saint. I used to buy them, and they're quite expensive. So when I buy them, he keeps complaining, "Why are you reading this book?" And I was like, I have interest in it. I go to the bookshop, I buy CDs of saints, how they live their life. I watch it. He kept complaining that, what am I doing with this thing?
So you used to joke about your wanting or desiring to become a reverend sister.
No, at first I
as a
wasn't-
joke.
Yes, I was joking. I wasn't
You
really
heard that?
serious
It was
about
a
it.
joke. Shil, you heard that?
It was not a joke because she was so serious.
Yes, I
she's serious
wouldn't
to the
lie.
extent-
I wouldn't lie. I went to
Just say
church.
the truth.
I
please.
wouldn't lie.
Please, I beg you.
Yes, I wouldn't
You know
lie.
what?
When I told him I wouldn't.
Hello. Did he interrupt you for once? You spoke for almost 30 minutes. Did he interrupt you?
No, Your Honor, but I don't want him to
Stop.
lie.
No, you let him land. He allowed you. For all you know, maybe there are things you were saying that you were lying about too. But he didn't interrupt you. Remove that from your mouth. She didn't interrupt you. So you have to be patient. Go ahead.
So
And don't interrupt him again.
Yes, Your Honor.
So after that, she said she wants to be a reverend sister. I say, really? After 2 kids, that how that one possible? Said because the pastor or the reverend father said it's possible. I say, why do you choose this type of life like that after you got married? And then she say, because she's had a spiritual husband that every time she's lie down in the sitting room, in the room, because our sitting room faced the room straight, that she always say a tall black man.
Can you tell me what made you stop? Pardon? Move out of the house for the first time.
First time. We were in Ikorodu. That was after I came back from Accra.
Okay.
We were in the house and I was having some problems with him. I noticed whenever I'm sleeping during the day, somebody keeps coming to me spiritually. So I tried to speak to my mom about it. They said I should pray about it. I did. I went to church. But it continued to happen. To an extent that I had to go see a reverend father, and I even took him along to the Catholic church that I went to. In his presence, he saw me talking to a reverend father about it. Then we went back home. And I was telling everyone that the person I keep seeing is my husband, coming to me spiritually to sleep with me. And I know the meaning of this thing if I really want to find out. Then later, I even confronted him that, what is he doing? He said he's not the one. There was a day I was praying in the room, and I noticed somebody try to, I don't know, I was praying, and I heard somebody fell down in the sitting room. And I rushed out. It was in the night, and I was like, what were you doing close to the wall? I know what I went through with those children when I was asking them for my to